Okay, I just filmed a update on my pregnancy, but I wanted to express some things about my friend's children. Um, the one I was most close with was, and I'm not going to mention names or anything like that. We were really good friends. I watched her firstborn, babysat him, and have been to every birthday except for the last two. Um, and when I found out I was pregnant, she found out she was pregnant. And we were due a month between each other. I was due April 8th and she was due May 12th. Well, then we found out that um, her baby had a diaphragmatic hernia, which scared me because I was afraid that if my child made it and hers did not, she would envy and 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 draw away from me because of it. She would feel um, disappointment and grief because it's hard to say that one person's baby made it and mine didn't. You know, my friends made it, but mine didn't. So me and her haven't been as close. We talk every once in a while um, when we see each other, when we Facebook each other, and I miss her a lot. Um, and her baby died um, a few days after mine was born, and it hurt. It hurt me to call her the day we were being discharged from the hospital and ask her if I could come up and see the baby before anything happened, before surgery. And to be on the phone with her and her say I can't talk right now because we don't have much time left. And then call me back an hour or two later and let me know that the baby had passed. I'm sorry being a big baby, but um, we got out of the hospital after my second stay and it was the funeral and I felt horrible. I didn't want to I didn't want to go. I didn't want to take my daughter. I was afraid that I'd make her hurt. And we went just to say our respects. And her mom came out and grabbed my baby and took her in. And my friend just held her and smiled. Like it made her feel better to have a baby in her arms. And that was pretty much the last conversation we've actually deeply had. So I don't know if it hurt or if it helped. But to me, it hurt. It's hurting. Um, and then when my son was born, I found the Ronald McDonald House because my son was born premature at 27 weeks. And I had pre-prom and it was a horrible experience and I hope it never happens again. And I went to the Ronald McDonald House after I was released from the hospital and there was this girl who was older than I am but was immature and she needed guided. So I attached to her very quickly. Just she wasn't prepared. She was pregnant, waiting for her son to be born. He had a heart condition. And we walked. was past her due date, and they said she could go to labor. It's fine. They weren't going to induce her. And we walked and we walked and we walked and we did squats, and I made her vacuum the floor and all kinds of stuff just to get her active and going. Well, she was going to be induced on a Tuesday, and she was put in, and they didn't induce her. She was already in labor, and she didn't know it. And baby Elijah came, and a week later he had his heart surgery. A week and a half later he had another one, and then he started doing well. I thought. And I came home, and she went back to school. And I emailed her and talked to her on the phone and Facebooked her all the time. And 2 days ago, I emailed her, and I let her know I was pregnant. And at the time, she was on Facebook, and we started chatting, and all of a sudden she got off. And I said, well, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll call you. And got off too. And then the next morning I got onto Facebook. And then as soon as I logged on, I see my phone rang. And it was my friend, and she was in tears. She got a phone call from the hospital last night, or that night, letting her know that her baby had stopped breathing in the night. And they tried everything to bring him back. And they couldn't. He was 3.5 months old. And they're thinking it was SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. And I guess with SIDS, once they're gone, it's hard to bring them back. And she told me what happened, and she has been on the internet at night. She's turned off her phone, and I understand, it's your baby. You gotta grieve. I know in experiences I've had 2 miscarriages, and one early and one late. So, but it rocked me, kind of hurt so bad, because this little soul was leaving and going to heaven, and I was celebrating, and I didn't know. So because I'm grieving my loss of these babies that are important, and I was a part of their lives. And then there was a community woman last week. Her baby had a heart condition, and they were going into surgery, and the day before they did, he passed away. I guess, but the biggest thing this reminds me of is my little nephew. He was 4. I helped raise him. Passed away on March 12th, 2011. And I have never really grieved him, per se, but he called me Mom first. I took care of him. I was his mama. And he was taken from me. And a month after he was taken from me, he died. So I can't help to think that if I was somehow a part of helping these children and their moms and dads and family, they're ripped away. And today I actually sat down and prayed, and I blamed to the point where it was a question. And this is what I asked. I said, why would you bring these children and women into my life and rip them out? So my loss is at the moment high. Like, my emotions are high. So if they've come through my videos, I'm so sorry. But I have no other way to release, I guess. And a woman on here had a stillbirth, Heidi Kim, and she is an amazing woman, and I want some of her strength. I feel like I know we don't see everything, but she is doing well, and I'm very proud because some people like me can't handle it. But if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you.